Hi Tea Society, welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet. Today we are checking out ATEEZ Yunho Slide to Me music video, and I'm scared. I've already heard the song along with all the other solos from In Your Fantasy. It was in the album reaction that I did, if you're wondering where that is. Want to know what my first initial frazzled thoughts were. But we're here for the music video, and I'm terrified because I don't trust him to not look at me, and that will be enough to fluster me. It'll be fine. The way I had to take the deepest breath before even getting here. All right. Are we at a hotel? Are we starting off this song in a hotel? I can't. Okay. Good God, they put him in a suit. No, don't. Boy, we're 8 seconds in, and you are giving me hotel vibes, and now you are taking off your coat. What are we doing? Huh? What are we playing at right now? Good God. No, don't look at me. Boy, I swear to God. Good Lord. I'm fine. I'm cool. I'm whatever. Don't look at me judgmentally like that over your shoulder, okay? I'm doing my best. No, sir, don't. Boy. Can we just talk about how, okay, well, you immediately saying you can feel the thirst reflected in my eyes is not what we're trying to talk about right now, okay? You're the one who's saying take it slow, and then you are also like loosening your tie. What are these mixed signals? Okay, I've already analyzed this song and all the things that I think the lyrics are. What are we doing? Also, I don't need him to look down on me, okay? That's just like, we don't. No, desist. Like that's no. Like what's that? Why? I like the footsteps to the beat though. The absolute audacity of you to smirk while doing that line in a lower voice. No. I feel like I need to like back up. The close-up on his hand is diabolical too. The different like frame speed up. Boy. No. Okay. Just choreography. And I was like, oh, great. We get to actually have choreography. I assumed we probably would, because to have, you know, have a whole solo and you're not going to let him do choreo, I feel like we would riot. I feel like collectively, we, all of us, 18 together, we would have to like band together and be like, choreo, please. Thank you. Why the close-up on his mouth? Why was that? Why did I know why? I do. This is like when they were trying to explain the lyrics to In Your Fantasy and they were just like, you can interpret it any way you want. And I'm like, don't throw this on me. Don't throw the responsibility at me. Like, I asked for you to release these songs, to write these lyrics, to behave like this. I wandered into this fandom and this was my first comeback. So I think that you should be sweeter to me. Well, okay, second comeback because Lemon Drop, but I think but it's all together. It's a repackaging. Anyway, I'm fine. Everything's fine. I am going to watch it again because I can. I like the wide like jump for that though. Like, was that necessary? Don't. No. That little eyebrow thing, no. Baby, just give me the sign. Boy, what are we doing? What are we doing anymore? Huh? Collectively, as a society, 18E, what are we supposed to be doing right now? You're in like a silky robe, laying in bed. Beautiful hotel, though. That's what I was supposed to focus on, but for? After again, the close-up. Did we need a close-up of his neck? Did he have to swallow while he did it? Like, what are we doing? I feel like I shouldn't be here. I don't need the ad-libs in the song either, with the visual happening. No. Ooh. I like that though, the like reflection being left behind. Again, I've talked about my interpretation of the song and everything, and I could go more into that, I guess, if I want to, but I think a lot of the song is about like a siren almost like pulling you in, right? Like you knowing that something is like destructive for you and going for it anyway. And I think it's really interesting to have the reflection and have it not match up. Storyline things I'm going to put on the back burner, but there have also been mirrors or stuff that don't match up. I don't want to talk about it because I'm not caught up in everything, okay? So don't put anything in my comment section because I'm gonna be upset. But I think it also is interesting that we're getting this like disconnect between like his reflection and him. We also have that clock in frame and a globe. Already makes me be like, there are multiple globes. I know technically it got retconned that he's the navigator, but like, how much? Anyway, back burner. Jesus Christ. Wellness check for all of the Yunho biases. I include myself in this because I've given up trying to find a bias in ATEEZ. You know what? I'm over it. I'm over pretending that I can make a decision. But wellness check on all of you, especially the alts. How are you doing? Are you breathing? I need you to take a deep breath for me. Drink some water. Ground yourself. Touch some grass. Because he's not playing fair. I'm with you, okay? Whatever. I feel so drowned. Gotta know what you need. I need to leave me alone with these close-ups. It's interesting that it's like almost like a loop though. Ooh, we're getting full choreo. But I was just saying, it's interesting that it seems like a loop because we have him like going up to the hotel room and everything. But then also we have the repetition of him like putting the suit back on and going back down to the elevator, which I also think is interesting in terms of kind of losing oneself in something you think was like reckless, right? That's literally in the lyrics about doing something that like is like impulsive and isn't actually something that is gonna last or anything like that, right? There's this feeling of being temporary with everything. And I think it's interesting to almost have this like loop happening for him of this repetition, and also like the knocked over glass as well. We can sit here and have our own thoughts and feelings. I think there's an intention to some of these shots that we're choosing. But I think it's also worth noting that like he's alone and doesn't seem like particularly, I don't know, happy about it. He seems rather intense, right? So I think that all is interesting with the loop of kind of this like isolation while also singing about something that's supposed to be like this kind of escape, right? At the same time, while he's stuck in this loop. Anyway, I want choreo. Not a close-up on his hand again. What'd I just say? Ooh. Oh, I need full choreo. Boy, leave me alone. Ooh, little isolation there. So we're gonna watch the whole thing again. A little isolation. I like how he completed that movement down to his fingertips too. And the head on like the base. Boy. Don't look at me like that. No. No. I was gonna look, we set up that there was like a bathroom with a bathtub, and I'm like, I swear to God, sir, there has to be some kind of decorum. No, and I know I haven't finished yet, but I would like to stake my claim right now that we stay away from any kind of bathtub or bathing in any way. I already had to deal with the swimming pool fiasco, okay? I've seen lemon drop. I don't need all this going back through a bunch of the different scenes, but I do think it's interesting that if we do go back through the scenes, it does imply more like getting caught, like staying in a loop of doing the same things over and over again, which again, I think is interesting in contrast to this like song that's talking about like escaping into an impulsive, reckless kind of moment of losing yourself and dancing with someone or connecting with someone or all the other interpretations that you can have that I'm gonna avoid talking about, the same way that ATEEZ does when you ask them about their lyrics. Y'all know. We can all read between the lines. But like in contrast to that being the subject matter of the song on kind of a surface level, and then we have the visuals of him like seeming like he's stuck doing like the same repetitive things where he's isolated, right? Like with the exception of the backup dancers, we haven't seen like anyone else. And also having the doubling, it because he's been stuck in a loop for so long that it's all blending together and it's almost like overlapping in some ways. Am I reaching? Probably, but it's more fun when you interpret things like that, and I need something to distract me so that I don't like panic and just dissolve into like a puddle. I swear to God, we're not getting in the tub. That's unnecessary as well. Don't look at me like it's no. I didn't ask for any of this. Boy, what did I just say? Okay, first off, I just said we didn't get the tub, and we did. But I do also think that it's an interesting image because we talk about drowning. And if you talk about being stuck in a loop, I know I'm not done yet. Jesus, I don't know where to rewind to. We're not going to get anything less. I do think it's an interesting image, and it's him falling back into the tub. There's something almost like voluntary in that. Like, again, I talked a lot while going through the inner fantasy solos that there's this feeling of self-destruction in a lot of it, right? Like choosing something, this like fantasy, but it isn't something that's good for you, right? Like it isn't a fantasy in the sense that we think of like improving your life or something wonderful, right? It's like something that is, isn't good for you, and yet you want it anyway, right? It's more of like a temptation than like a wish coming true, or at least maybe the wish in the more like fairy tale sense of there's consequences for that wish or there's ramifications for it, right? Like you don't exactly get what you're actually asking for, right? Be careful what you wish for, right? So I think the idea of this being like this voluntary movement of he had to fill the tub, he had to get into the tub, he had to fall backwards into the tub, right? Like it's this image of something that is destructive, and yet it is something that he's like choosing in a lot of ways. And we have this like water imagery throughout it of him like drinking the water, the like condensation on the glass. It's something that's been like lingering in the environment that he's been like stuck in this loop for. And now that I think about it, we also have the elevator in Lemon Drop, right? There's also the elevator, which is how we end up at the pool, but it also has the rain outside, which is again like water imagery pulling from some of the storytelling that they're putting all together. There's also some stuff with Yunho and Ash. And see, now I'm getting into storyline things that I didn't want to, okay? Back burner. Actually finish this video. It might just be logo, but like, I don't know. Sometimes people be putting stuff at the end of their videos and I don't want to miss anything important. Sometimes I do anyway, but that was a lot. I mean it when I say wellness check for all of the Yunho biases. How are y'all? I can't wait to check out some other people's reactions because there's already some channels where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to need to know what your opinion on this particular scientific investigation. But I need to see actual choreo, so I don't know how I can do that. I know there's a behind the scenes, so noted. I'm assuming he's performed it, but I don't know quality of like videos that are out there for him performing it with the full choreo. So if you could help me out with that, I'd be eternally grateful. I feel like it needs some good choreo for this one. You just gotta give him the song and But honestly, despite the fact that I flustered like right out the gate, didn't do well, crumbled under the pressure, I do think there's some really interesting like imagery and storytelling in this, and like carrying over some of the imagery that we got in your fantasy and like Lemon Drop and everything. Especially interesting that we have this like isolation with him, right? I know some of that's just there are videos for all of their solos and they're gonna be by themselves instead of the whole group, and also I'm assuming there were like some time restraints and like budget things, right? This isn't like a full music video for the lead single or anything like that they're going to be putting like a bunch of time and money into. But I do think it's interesting that like he doesn't interact with anyone with the exception of the dancers that we got, and given what the song is, I think that it just shows someone who's stuck in this loop, stuck in this like contained space, right? We have the room, hallways, elevator, right? We have this person who is not just in like indoors the whole time, but like an elevator is a smaller space, a hallway is like a very narrow space. Even like the rooms that he's in, these doorways, right, that like close in the space, right? Some of it's just like framing and it's pretty, but it's also like shrinking the space that like Yunho exists in. Like we keep having him like contained within these like walls, right? The doors, the hallway, even the elevator, he keeps being like framed in the middle of it. Even the mirror, right? He's enclosed within that area. And I think that is, despite the lyrics being like dance recklessly through the thrill, like we have him in so many of these spaces where the walls feel like they're closing in around him, and with the exception of the dancing, like again, that's when we have other people in the music video, and that's where we have these like wide movements, both in the little choreo that we got in the hotel room, but also with the dancers, is that he has like a much wider stance with those dance moves. I mean, we just got to watch this part again. Why not? See, framed again. Even there, like the curtains, right? Like the curtains enclose him as well. But for all of me being like, I don't think I need all these close-ups for like my mental health, though it is that time of the year in Canada where I can touch grass now. So if there was gonna be a time, but even the close-ups on him is like, again, shrinking the space that he exists in, right? To the point where we have him like literally in water, right? Where like it is something that's completely closing around him and there's no space to breathe anymore. So I do think really interesting imagery to put into a song like this, given my own interpretation of the song and the lyrics and like how their solos kind of work together for the overall theme of In Your Fantasy. So I do have some constructive thoughts, but also he knew exactly what he was doing. Every close-up on his hands, I'm like, intentional affliction of emotional distress. Calling it right now. Honestly, just such a good song. Like, it's exactly in the pocket of the kind of music that I love, of just like really synthy and like the bass line. It's dancey, but it's not like super over the top. As much as I love like a really like loud, fun, bright dance song, I think there's something about the groove to this one that just scratches that itch in my brain. And I do really love the storytelling in this. I think that it's intentional to have that balance between that kind of the seduction angle of it and the like isolation and destruction, like self-destruction part, right? Like I think that's the whole point of the In Your Fantasy album, is like the two sides of that, of being tempted and seduced by the things that you know aren't good for you. And I think that this video, for the first one that I've checked out of the solo videos so far, more to come, but knowing that they're bringing that into the visuals, that they're still playing around with like that specific like tipping point, right? It feels a bit like someone like balanced on like the edge of a knife between falling into that temptation and like understanding what is and isn't good for them, right? I do like that we brought that into the visuals. Even if it's like a fan, I think we need to calm down. I think it's too much, okay? In Your Fantasy was all, like, Lemon Drop was a lot. And then you did In Your Fantasy and we're like, hold on, hold up. We can't keep doing this. So I am more nervous about what it's gonna be like for the rest of their solo music videos. But I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this playlist to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to me next time I post an ATEEZ reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.